Hello BookTube! Today I'm going to be doing the Favorite People tag. This tag is a creation of Gareth of Book Songs and Other Magic, and I'll leave a link to his channel in the show notes down below, as well as to the fellow booktubers that I will be tagging. Normally I tag everybody, but I think maybe this once I will tag a specific booktubers as well as tagging everybody as well. So, prompt number 1, name your favorite author. This is a bit of a struggle for me. I'm inconsistent in my reading, and so when it comes to like specific authors, I may not necessarily like everything they do. And I think to be a favorite author, you have to like pretty much everything they've written, or really want to read everything they've written, and that you revisit their work fairly regularly. And there's probably a few other caveats as well, but I think those are the main ones. And as I was thinking over this question, I sort of was struggling a bit with figuring out who my favorite authors are. And I thought I would kind of work my way through it in this first tag, rather than just telling you what I came up with. So let's start with the classics, canonical, modern, and contemporary fiction, poetry, and drama. I'm not a big reader of the classics or canonical works. I had a period in high school and college where I really did enjoy reading those works, but I really don't feel much compulsion to read them nowadays. Maybe that'll change, but for now, I don't really have a desire to. So I can't really say any of them are favorites. Moving on to modern and contemporary, I really haven't had much luck with literary fiction for decades now. I mean, I'll like specific works here and there, but it's never consistent to say that author's a favorite of mine. Now, poetry is a different story. There, I can safely say Wisława Szymborska is a favorite poet of mine. Catherine W. Carter is a favorite of mine. Austin Smith is a favorite of mine. Evie Shockley is a favorite of mine. So I think with poetry, I definitely have favorites. Drama, I guess maybe Tennessee Williams, although I haven't read him in 20 years, give or take. It's been a long time. So does that necessarily, qualify him? Which, speaking of which, I really am getting a desire to pick up some of his work. I don't know if I should just pick up like individual plays or those big omnibus editions from like Library of America or elsewhere. I need to think about that. So moving on to other parts of my library. Well, science fiction is very similar to literary fiction. I mean, it is my favorite genre of fiction, even though I've been having issues with it over the last few years. But I don't think I really have any authors that I could say are favorites because, take China Mieville. I adore his Boss Log novels. I'm largely indifferent to everything else he's done. Even with the Boss Log novels, I haven't read them in probably 10 years. And he's largely the only one I could think of. Moving on to other genre fiction, there's certainly Agatha Christie. I think she Even if I'm a bit down on her right now. I mean, she has been a favorite of mine, so maybe. But then again, I haven't read her in a year, and that last reading was a bit unfortunate. So I don't know if she really would count. Um, Moving on to history. I don't think I've read enough like authors who've written more than one book to really get a handle of if any of them are my favorites. I mean, there's like H.W. Brands, and while I liked at least one of his books, I've also not been too impressed by others of his. Jill Lepore, I think maybe she could work, I think maybe she's a favorite. I've read 3 of her works so far, and I really liked all of them. But I also don't really feel all that interested returning to them. And in fact, 2 of her works I'm planning on unhauling at some point in the near future, whenever that may be. Then there's Brenda Wineapple. I've read 2 of her books that I really enjoyed, but I'm not necessarily really going to go out of my way to pick up her next work. So, I mean, maybe I guess Amanda Padani. I mean, I loved her Weaver, Scribes, and Kings, and I really liked her Brotherhood of Kings. So maybe she would be a favorite. I don't know. And then there's like manga, which I think probably, again, like with poetry, I do definitely have favorites here. Certainly, chief among them is Hiro Mishima. I could go back to Fairy Tale and Eden Zero and just have a ball. And I would like to collect everything he's ever done, even though that might be a pain in the rear end, uh, which is a rant for another day. Masashi Kishimoto. I'm currently going through Naruto and just having a ball. Um, Hiromu Arakawa, who did Fullmetal Alchemist. I've read that series twice and loved it. And I'm really enjoying her current series, Demons of the Shadow Realm. So I think she would be a favorite of mine, and probably numerous others that like Koihiro Koshi, who does My Hero Academia, Gege Akutami, who does Jujutsu Kaisen, Aida Iro. I'm blanking on which one of them is the writer of the two, who they do Tolapan Hanaka-kun. So yeah. So I think that's probably a very long-winded answer of that. I do have favorites. It's just not said. It's not necessarily where you would expect, which would be like in fiction or even nonfiction. It's a bit disjointed, I guess. Prompt number 2. Name your favorite comedy actor or comedian. Ooh. I think this implies I actually like comedy. Who would it be? I don't know. Do I have one? Um, I don't. Nobody's coming to mind. I mean, I'm not really a big fan of comedy. Um, and I haven't watched like one of those comedy specials in forever. Prompt number 3. Name your favorite dramatic serious actor or actress. Hmm. hmm. Uh, Frances McDormand, I think. Because I really liked her in Fargo, but I've only. But again, it's sort of the same thing that I have to see them in multiple roles to really determine whether or not they're a favorite of mine or not. And I've only ever seen her in Fargo. Um, mm, Nobody's coming to mind. Now, part of that is that I haven't really watched movies consistently in a very long time. Um, Largely during my day, I have a brief window before I go to bed where I could possibly watch movies. But I usually end up catching up with a number of either BookTube or other YouTube videos that I've been meaning to catch. Like tonight, I'll probably watch some videos from Stray Kids, Extraordinary Heroes, and Tomorrow by Together. And that would pretty much prevent me from watching any movies. Um, so yeah, sorry for these two prompts that I don't have answers for. Prompt number 4: name your favorite political figure, past or present. For this, I think I'm gonna go with Hatshepsut. She was pharaoh of Egypt for several decades during the golden age of the Egyptian New Kingdom, and Alexander the Great, who uh, conquered the Persian Empire and um, basically was never defeated in battle, and is I have this weird relationship with him, which it's so yeah, favorite material. Um, I'll go with them. Prompt number 5: name your favorite film writer or director. I I don't know of any film writers off the top of my head that I consistently would say I like their work. As far as directors, I think maybe Akira Kurosawa. I've watched several of his films and quite like them. Um, Federico Fellini. I've watched several of his and quite liked. Ang Lee. Um, the Coen Brothers. They did. I think Fargo, and I think they also did The Big Lebowski. Um, is there anyone else? I think that's about it. Although, and I guess they would fit as favorites. Prompt number 6: name your favorite new discovery. I don't really think I have one. Um, like there aren't any scientists that are coming to mind, or um, particularly in the last few months. So I'll give this one a pass too. Prompt number 7: name your favorite musician or singer. So this one I can talk a bit more about. Um, so normally when I get these kinds of questions, I immediately go to my 4 bands. So I basically, for every decade that I've been around, there's been a band that I really enjoyed. So in like the 80s, it's Susie and the Banshees. In the 90s, it was Savage Garden. In the 2000s, it was Phenomena. And in the 2010s, it's BTS. I still love all of I still love them. And for the 2020s, it's a bit of a 3-way fight or a 3-way tie between Tomorrow by Together, Stray Kids, and Extraordinary Heroes. Um, so on the band side, as far as like a single musician is concerned, uh, I think it's probably Tori Amos is my favorite. Maybe Inya coming in there as well, and Nana Muscori. Um, Prompt number 8, name your biggest inspirational person. Oh, I don't think I have one. I don't really do much in the way of inspirational stuff. And finally, tag number 9, tag some people. So normally I tag everybody, and I am going to tag everybody, but I specifically want to tag Alan of Big Hard Books and Classics. He recently tagged me in a tag video, and I would like to return the favor. Also, I would like to tag Angelia of Read and Reread, and of course, Steve Donahue. I would love to watch his answers to these prompts. So anyway, BookTube, so that's all I got for today. So until I see you tomorrow for weekly reads and probably a book haul, thank you, have a great afternoon, and stay safe.